Hello friends, have you ever wondered why some friendships feel effortless, while others take a little more patience? Well, what if I told you that the stars might have something to do with it? Today, we're diving into how each zodiac sign handles friendships, because the way you love, laugh, and lean on your friends might just be written in the cosmos. Let's break it down sign by sign. Aries, the bold bestie. Being friends with an Aries is like living in a movie where you never quite know what the next scene will bring. They are the ultimate initiators, the people who walk into a room and instantly inject it with energy. When you're their friend, you're not just someone they text occasionally, you're a co-star in their story, and that means constant movement, constant challenges, and constant fun. Aries doesn't see friendship as a background detail in life. For them, it's the heartbeat of existence. If they love you, they want you right there next to them on the roller coaster of life. Imagine this. It's a Thursday night, you're in pajamas, ready to relax, and your phone buzzes. Aries, get dressed, I'm outside. No explanation, no warning. And before you know it, you're dancing in some random club, driving out of town for a sunrise hike, or eating pancakes at 3 a.m. in a diner 2 cities away. That's Aries friendship. Chaotic, unpredictable, and unforgettable. They bring spontaneity into your life, often pulling you out of your comfort zone and into situations you'll later call the best memories ever. Even if, at the time, you were terrified. But here's the thing, Aries isn't just about thrill-seeking. Underneath their fiery impulsiveness lies a core of deep loyalty. If you're their friend, you're their person. They will defend you with every ounce of their energy. Someone talks badly about you? Aries will be the first to confront them. Someone hurts you? Aries is already planning how to cheer you up, or, honestly, plotting a little payback. Their loyalty is unmatched, but it's not passive, it's aggressive, protective, and loud. With Aries in your corner, you'll always feel like you have a warrior by your side. Still, friendships with Aries come with challenges. They're competitive by nature, and that competitiveness shows up everywhere. Game night, they have to win. You got a promotion? Aries will be genuinely happy for you, but also silently planning how to one-up you in their own life. And weirdly, that's how they bond. To them, competition isn't hostility, it's motivation. They want you to be as bold and driven as they are, and they believe pushing each other makes the friendship stronger. Some people find it exhausting, but others thrive in it, because it keeps the friendship dynamic and alive. Another layer of Aries friendship is their honesty. They don't sugarcoat, they don't hold back. If they think you're making a bad decision, they'll tell you straight to your face, sometimes too bluntly. But you'll always know where you stand with them, and that kind of clarity is rare in friendships. You may roll your eyes at their delivery, but deep down, you'll appreciate that they care enough to be real with you. Aries also has a knack for making ordinary moments extraordinary. A walk in the park turns into a race, a grocery store trip becomes a comedy show, and even lazy days on the couch turn into debates, jokes, and laughter that leaves you breathless. They don't know how to do boring. Their presence alone is an invitation to live louder, brighter, and with more courage. And when life gets tough, Aries doesn't disappear. They'll show up at your door, maybe with pizza, maybe with a crazy plan to distract you, but always with the intention of reminding you that you're not alone. At the core, Aries just wants to be your ride or die. The friend who's there through thick and thin, through fun and chaos, through victories and losses. They want friendships that burn brightly, that challenge them, that make them feel alive. And if you can handle the whirlwind, you'll realize that an Aries bestie is one of the most unforgettable gifts life can give you. And now, a little side note. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a thanks button right under this video. Your support truly helps me keep creating. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's continue. Taurus, the steady rock. Friendship with a Taurus is like finding shelter during a storm. They are the dependable ones, the steady presence that reminds you not everything in life has to be unpredictable. When a Taurus calls you their friend, it's not a fleeting choice. It's a promise, a long-term investment, and a commitment they take seriously. For them, friendships are built to last. and they'll do everything in their power to make sure you feel supported, valued, and cared for. A Taurus bestie is the type of person who remembers your favorite dessert and has it waiting when you come over. They notice the little things others might miss, like the tone of your voice when you're tired or the subtle change in your mood. They don't need you to tell them when you're struggling. They just know, and they show up quietly, without fanfare, ready to help. They'll sit with you, listen without judgment, and offer comfort in the most grounding way. No drama, no unnecessary words, just presence, the kind of presence that makes you feel safe enough to breathe again. Hanging out with Taurus is never rushed. They don't like fast, shallow interactions. They'd rather savor time with you, enjoying long conversations, good meals, and moments of peace that turn into memories. They value quality over quantity in everything, and that includes people. While some signs chase popularity or massive friend groups, Taurus carefully chooses a few trusted people to invest in deeply. If you're one of them, you'll feel it, because their loyalty is quiet but powerful. But here's the magic of Taurus: they make the simple feel extraordinary. A lazy Sunday with them might turn into the coziest day of your life. They'll cook with you, play music, light a candle, and suddenly you realize that happiness doesn't always come from adrenaline or chaos. It comes from peace, stability, and love. That's the gift of being friends with a Taurus. They remind you of life's softer side, the beauty of slowing down, and the power of comfort. Taurus also shows love through sharing. If they give you food, lend you their sweater, or let you crash at their place without question, that's their way of saying, "You're part of my world now." They may not always express feelings through words, but their actions speak volumes. They're the kind of friends who'll lend you money and never bring it up again, who'll drive across town just to help you move, or who'll quietly take care of things without ever making it a big deal. Of course, there's the famous Taurus stubbornness. When they believe something, it's almost impossible to change their mind. That can cause friction in friendships, especially if you're trying to push them into something they're not ready for. But that same stubborn streak is also why they're so reliable. Once they've decided to be there for you, nothing, absolutely nothing, can shake that commitment. Their loyalty is unshakable, their devotion solid. And don't mistake their love of comfort for laziness. Taurus may love cozy nights in, but they also love indulging in life's pleasures, good food, beautiful places, quality experiences. They'll be the friend who invites you to try the best restaurant in town, or who surprises you with tickets to a show because they know you'll love it. Their friendships are rich, layered, and deeply nurturing, because they put thought into making people feel valued. At the end of the day, Taurus is the rock you can lean on, the friend who grounds you when life feels unsteady, the one who shows you that true friendship isn't about how many wild nights you've had, it's about who's still sitting next to you when the chaos dies down. They may not be the loudest, the flashiest, or the most unpredictable friend, but they'll be the one holding your hand when it matters most, reminding you that you were never, ever alone. Gemini, the social butterfly. Friendship with a Gemini feels like stepping into a whirlwind that somehow manages to be both chaotic and deeply intentional at the same time. They are the friends who can walk into a room full of strangers and walk out with a dozen new contacts, 3 potential besties, and at least one story so outrageous you'll be laughing about it for weeks. Being around them feels like riding a wave of energy that never quite slows down. It keeps you alert, keeps you entertained, and most importantly, keeps you feeling alive. But here's the thing most people miss. Beneath that constant sparkle and chatter, Gemini actually cares deeply about the people they let into their inner circle. They may thrive on variety, but they remember the details. When you tell them something important, no matter how quickly the conversation moves on, they'll circle back days later and remind you they were paying attention. That balance between their outward whirlwind and their inward depth is what makes being their friend so magnetic. Spending time with a Gemini means constantly shifting gears. One moment, they're the life of the party, telling jokes, making everyone feel comfortable, and stealing the spotlight without even trying. The next, they're leaning in close, whispering something just for you, reminding you that while they shine in crowds, they shine even brighter in one-on-one moments of intimacy. They have this uncanny ability to make every friend feel special. Even in a room of dozens, you'll still feel like they see you. That duality is their gift. They're everywhere at once, yet they're also completely present with you. Gemini thrives on curiosity, and that shows in how they handle friendships. They'll ask you questions no one else thinks to ask, diving into your thoughts, your dreams, your fears. Conversations with them can start lighthearted, gossip about work, a funny meme, a silly story, but within minutes, you'll find yourself talking about life, death, love, and everything in between. They guide conversations like conductors of an orchestra, switching tempos, changing melodies, making sure no note gets too repetitive. And when you're their friend, you learn to love this unpredictability. Of course, Gemini isn't always easy. Their restless spirit can sometimes make them flaky, or at least appear that way. They may cancel plans last minute because something else came up, or they may disappear for a while as they chase a new interest, new friend group, or new adventure. But if you know them well, you'll understand that this isn't disloyalty, it's their nature. They thrive on change, and yet, they always come back to the people who matter most. If you're truly close to a Gemini, you'll realize that no matter how many new faces they meet, you still have a permanent place in their world. Friendship with Gemini also means laughter, constant, bubbling laughter that sneaks into everything you do together. They have an incredible sense of humor, sharp wit, and a way of making even the most mundane activities feel like comedy specials. Grocery shopping? With a Gemini, it becomes an adventure filled with inside jokes and ridiculous commentary. Long car rides? They'll have you laughing so hard you'll forget you've been driving for hours. They bring lightness to friendships, an effortless ability to remind you not to take life too seriously. Yet what people often underestimate is Gemini's emotional intelligence. For all their humor and restless energy, they're surprisingly attuned to people's moods. They know when to turn down the volume, when to lean in quietly, when to just be there. They may not always express it in traditional ways, but when you're hurting, a Gemini knows how to draw you out, how to distract you with humor, or how to sit with you in silence until you're ready to talk. Their adaptability is their strength. They can shift from jokester to confidant in the blink of an eye, giving you exactly what you need in that moment. In the end, being friends with a Gemini is never about routine. It's about motion, discovery, laughter, and connection. They remind you that friendship can be both fun and profound, both light and heavy, both fleeting in moments yet lasting in meaning. They'll keep you on your toes, yes, but they'll also keep you in their heart, and that combination is what makes a Gemini friend unforgettable. Cancer, the caretaker. If Cancer calls you friend, you may as well prepare to be folded into their heart like family, because that's exactly how they see you. To them, friendship isn't casual, it's sacred. Cancer doesn't do surface-level connections. When they let you in, they let you all the way in, and suddenly, you're no longer just a buddy or a companion, you're part of their chosen family, someone they'll love, nurture, and protect with every ounce of their being. Spending time with a Cancer feels like wrapping yourself in a blanket on a cold day. They are the ultimate comfort givers. They'll cook you meals not because they have to, but because feeding you is their way of saying, I love you, I care for you, I want you nourished. They'll check on you when you're sick, remember the important dates in your life, and cry with you during sad movies because they can't help but absorb your emotions as if they were their own. That level of empathy is rare, and it's what makes Cancer friendships unforgettable. They feel with you, sometimes even more deeply than you do. Cancer friends are deeply intuitive. They don't need you to explain everything, they just sense what you're going through. They'll notice the hesitation in your voice, the shift in your expression, the way your silence stretches longer than usual, and they'll know something's wrong. They'll ask, gently, kindly, and they'll wait patiently for you to open up. And when you do, they'll hold that space for you without judgment, without interruption, without conditions. It's not about fixing the problem, it's about holding your hand while you face it. But Cancer's depth can be a double-edged sword. Because they feel so much, they sometimes take on more than they should. They may overextend themselves, constantly worrying about the people they love, forgetting to care for themselves in the process. They want to be everything for everyone, and that can leave them drained. Yet, even in their exhaustion, their priority remains the people they call friends. That selflessness is beautiful, but it can also mean that as their friend, you need to remind them it's okay to rest, to recharge, to receive as much as they give. Friendship with a Cancer often feels like home. They'll invite you over for dinner, make sure you're comfortable, listen to your stories, and tuck you into their lives with ease. They are natural nurturers, and that extends into every detail of their friendships. If you're having a bad day, they'll show up with ice cream. If you're celebrating, they'll cheer louder than anyone else. If you're heartbroken, they'll be there at midnight with tissues and endless patience. Their love is not dramatic. It's steady, warm, and deeply loyal. Cancers also have a sentimental streak. They hold on to memories like treasures, and they'll often bring up little things you've forgotten, reminding you of moments you shared. They might keep the ticket stubs from movies you saw together, or save the silly notes you once wrote them, because to Cancer, every detail matters. These memories are proof of the bond they've built, and they cherish them with all their heart. Of course, their sensitivity means they can get hurt easily. If they feel taken for granted, overlooked, or dismissed, they may retreat into their shell, pulling away to protect themselves. But their forgiveness runs deep. If they love you, they'll always find their way back. Their friendships aren't fragile. They're resilient, because they believe in connection, in sticking through the hard times as much as the good. At the end of the day, a Cancer friend is the definition of a safe haven. They'll laugh with you, cry with you, stand beside you, and remind you that you are never alone. They'll fight for you, care for you, and love you in a way that feels unconditional. And long after the laughter fades, after the hard times pass, after years have gone by, you'll still remember the warmth of their friendship, because it leaves an imprint you simply can't forget. Leo, the spotlight sharer. Being friends with a Leo is like stepping into a world that's always a little brighter, a little louder, and a whole lot more glamorous than you expected. Yes, Leos love being the star. Everyone knows that, but what people often overlook is how generous they are with their light. They don't just want to shine, they want you to shine right alongside them. If you're their friend, you're not standing in their shadow. You're right up there with them, bathed in the glow of their energy, their laughter, and their unwavering loyalty. A Leo bestie is the ultimate hype machine. They'll cheer for you like you just won an Oscar, even if all you did was make it through a tough week. They'll tell everyone how amazing you are, brag about your accomplishments louder than you would ever dare to, and make sure you feel like the main character in your own story. To Leo, friendship is about celebration. Celebrating life, celebrating achievements, and most importantly, celebrating you. They see their friends as extensions of themselves, and when you win, they feel like they're winning too. But make no mistake, Leos expect reciprocity. If they're giving you the world, they want to know you value it. They crave attention, yes, but it's not shallow. It's about feeling seen, feeling loved, feeling like their efforts are appreciated. They'll hype you endlessly, but they'll also notice if you never clap for them. And the truth is, you won't mind giving them the applause they want, because being friends with a Leo feels so good, so life-giving, that you'll want to keep that energy flowing. Every hangout with a Leo feels like a party, whether it's a literal party or just sitting on the couch eating pizza. They bring charisma, humor, and warmth into every interaction, making even the dullest moments feel special. A trip to the grocery store with a Leo can feel like an adventure. They'll chat up the cashier, crack jokes in the aisles, and probably convince you to buy something you don't need, just because they make it sound like the most exciting idea ever. Their friendships are infused with drama in the best way possible, the kind of drama that makes stories worth telling later. Still, beneath their love of the spotlight, Leos are fiercely protective of the people they care about. If someone hurts you, they'll roar louder than anyone else. If you're struggling, they'll drop everything to lift you back up. Their loyalty runs deep, and when they consider you part of their pride, there's nothing they won't do to defend and support you. They'll fight for you, stand with you, and make sure you never feel alone. Of course, Leos can sometimes be overwhelming. Their need for recognition might come across as demanding, and their big personalities can feel like too much for quieter souls. But here's the secret: their love is just as big as their personality. They don't just take up space, they make space for you. They'll pull you into the spotlight, make sure your voice is heard, and remind you of your worth again and again. At their core, Leos just want their friendships to feel alive, vibrant, and full of joy. They want to laugh loudly, love deeply, and create memories that last a lifetime. If you're willing to give them the love and attention they crave, they'll give it back to you tenfold. With a Leo as your friend, you'll never feel invisible, never feel forgotten, never feel unloved. You'll feel celebrated, adored, and cherished, like you've been given a front row seat to the greatest show on earth, and better yet, like you're one of the stars of the show. Virgo, the problem solver. Friendship with a Virgo is like having a built-in safety net, therapist, and personal assistant all rolled into one. They notice everything: the subtle sigh in your voice, the way you hesitate before answering a question, the fact that you've been wearing the same tired expression all week. You don't have to tell a Virgo that something's wrong, they already know. They have this almost psychic ability to read the room, and when it comes to their friends, that intuition turns into action. Virgos are planners, fixers, and listeners, but that doesn't mean they're overbearing. Their help comes from a place of love, not control. If you're upset, they'll let you vent, but they won't just nod along. They'll gently offer solutions, practical steps, and advice that actually makes sense. Sometimes it may feel blunt, maybe even a little too direct, but you'll soon realize it's exactly what you needed to hear. Virgos don't waste words, and they don't waste time. They want to see you thriving, not drowning. What makes Virgo friendships special is their consistency. They're not the kind of people who show up only when it's convenient. If you need them, they'll rearrange their schedule, make time, and be there with you. And even when you don't ask for help, they'll anticipate what you need and quietly step in. That's Virgo magic. You won't even notice they've been working behind the scenes to make your life easier, smoother, better. They'll fix the small problems before you even see them as problems, and they'll do it without asking for recognition. Virgos have high standards, and that extends to their friendships. They don't keep everyone close, they're selective, careful, intentional. If a Virgo keeps you around, it's because you've passed through their quiet tests. You've proven your trustworthiness, your loyalty, your ability to be genuine. They don't have time for shallow connections, and they're not interested in fleeting flings of friendship. They want depth, reliability, and honesty. If you're in for good. Yet, their perfectionist streak can sometimes make them tough friends. They notice flaws, yours, theirs, everyone's. And sometimes they'll point them out when you're not ready to hear it. But even then, it comes from love. They don't criticize because they want to tear you down. They do it because they see your potential, and they can't stand to watch you settle for less than you deserve. Their tough love may sting in the moment, but later, you'll realize they were right, and you'll thank them for it. Virgos also show their affection in quiet, practical ways. They're the ones who'll send you a text reminding you of your doctor's appointment, who'll help you polish your resume, who'll show up with soup when you're sick. They may not always shower you with big, dramatic gestures of love, but their care is steady, thoughtful, and deeply meaningful. They express love not just in words, but in actions that make your life better. Spending time with a Virgo friend is grounding. They're not about chaos or drama. They're about peace, order, and balance. They'll help you slow down, think clearly, and find stability in the middle of life's storms. And when you're with them, you'll feel safe, because you know they're paying attention, holding space, and ready to step in if you stumble. At their core, Virgos are devoted. If they've chosen you as a friend, it means you've earned a place in their carefully curated world. They'll protect that bond, nurture it, and invest in it, because for Virgo, friendship isn't casual, it's essential. They may not be the loudest, flashiest, or most dramatic friends, but they are the ones who will stand quietly by your side, helping, supporting, guiding, and loving you in ways that last a lifetime. Libra, the peacemaker. Friendship with a Libra feels like stepping into a world where everything just flows. They have this graceful way of smoothing rough edges, balancing extremes, and making everyone feel like they belong. Libras hate drama, not because they're oblivious to it, but because they know how heavy it can be, how quickly it can poison the joy of connection. Unless it's happening on TV, where they can analyze and laugh about it from a safe distance, they'll avoid conflict like the plague. Instead, they focus on creating spaces where people feel comfortable, understood, and accepted. And when you're their friend, you'll quickly realize that their gift is not just in making peace, but in making you feel at peace. Libras are the diplomats of the zodiac, and that diplomacy shows up in their friendships in ways both big and small. If two friends are fighting, Libra is the one who listens to both sides, finding just enough common ground to build a bridge between them. If a group is hanging out, Libra makes sure no one feels left out, quietly noticing when someone is being overshadowed and gently pulling them back into the conversation. They have this incredible ability to read a room, to sense the emotional currents flowing beneath the surface, and to adjust their energy in a way that brings balance. Their friendships thrive on harmony and beauty. A Libra friend loves shared experiences that feel meaningful. Long dinners with good food and better conversation, laughter that stretches into the night, quiet moments of connection where you talk about love, life, and everything in between. They value relationships that are not just fun, but soulful, where there's depth, tenderness, and reciprocity. You'll notice that they aren't the type to rush into closeness, but once they feel safe, they open their hearts in ways that feel warm and genuine. Being friends with a Libra also means being constantly uplifted by their charm. They are naturally social, easy to talk to, and often effortlessly stylish, bringing a kind of aesthetic joy into their friendships. They'll invite you to art shows, recommend the perfect playlist, or pick out the wine that sets the mood just right. With them, life feels a little more curated, a little more beautiful, like you're living inside a carefully designed space where everything is in balance. But beneath their effortless grace lies a heart that struggles with indecision. Libras want to keep everyone happy, and sometimes that means they bend too far, saying yes when they mean no, or hesitating when asked to take sides. They fear conflict so much that they'll sometimes avoid difficult conversations, hoping that harmony will magically return. As their friend, you'll need patience, because once they find their voice, it's strong, thoughtful, and deeply compassionate. What makes Libra friendships unforgettable is their ability to remind you of your worth. They'll hype you up in gentle ways, pointing out your strengths, encouraging your dreams, and standing by you when you doubt yourself. They see the best in people, and when you're close to a Libra, you start to see that best version of yourself too. They'll laugh with you, cry with you, and create memories that feel like treasures because they invest not just their time, but their soul. At their core, Libras believe that friendships should be equal partnerships, built on fairness, kindness, and mutual respect. They'll go out of their way to ensure you feel included, to remind you that you matter, to create moments of harmony in a chaotic world. And long after the party ends, long after the laughter fades into quiet, you'll remember how it felt to sit across from a Libra in the soft glow of conversation, knowing without a doubt that you were truly seen, truly valued, and truly loved. Scorpio, the ride or die secret keeper. Friendship with a Scorpio is not casual. It's intense, consuming, and profoundly loyal. They don't let people in easily. In fact, they may seem guarded at first, watching you closely, testing your intentions, weighing whether you're worthy of their trust. But if you make it past those invisible gates, you've earned something rare, a bond that feels unshakable. Once you're in for life, and a Scorpio will stand by you with a kind of loyalty that borders on ferocity. Scorpios treat friendship as a sacred pact. They don't throw the word friend around lightly. To them, it's a commitment, a promise, a soul-level connection. When you're their friend, they'll defend you fiercely, even when you're not in the room. They'll guard your secrets like a vault, never letting a single word slip, no matter the pressure. They see loyalty as everything, and they expect the same in return. If you betray that trust, there's no coming back. They'll shut the door, lock it, and throw away the key. It's not pettiness, it's self-protection. For Scorpio, betrayal cuts deeper than most people can imagine, and once burned, they never forget. But when the trust is intact, Scorpio friendships are some of the most rewarding you'll ever experience. They are all in, fully invested, completely devoted. If you're going through something difficult, they'll be there without hesitation. They won't just say, "I'm here for you," they'll prove it, sitting with you in silence, holding your hand, fighting your battles alongside you if they have to. They won't run away from darkness. In fact, they're the ones who will wade into it with you, unafraid, because they know that true connection isn't about sharing just the good times, it's about standing together through the worst. Scorpios are deeply intuitive, often sensing what you're feeling before you even say a word. They'll look at you, study your body language, listen to the pauses between your sentences, and know exactly what's going on. They have this penetrating presence, as if they can see right through you, straight into your soul. It can be intimidating, but it's also comforting, because you know they get you in ways most people never will. Being friends with a Scorpio also means experiencing intensity in the best sense of the word. Conversations go deep quickly. They don't want surface-level chatter. They want to explore your dreams, your fears, your hidden thoughts. They'll share their own vulnerabilities too, but only when they're certain you've earned their trust. And when they do, it feels like being handed a key to a hidden world, a privilege that not many get to experience. Scorpio friendships can sometimes feel overwhelming because of how deeply they feel. They love hard, protect hard, and, yes, sometimes get jealous or possessive. But that's because they care so much. They don't want halfway connections, they want the real thing, the kind of friendship that feels like a bond written in stone. If you can match their intensity, you'll discover a loyalty that never wavers, a trust that never breaks, and a love that endures no matter what. At the core, Scorpio is the ride or die friend. The one you can call at 2 a.m. when everything is falling apart. The one who will keep your darkest secrets safe forever. The one who will fight for you, stand with you, and believe in you even when you can't believe in yourself. They may be intense, demanding, and at times hard to read, but once they choose you, their friendship becomes one of the most powerful forces in your life. It's not light, it's not casual. It's deep, it's consuming, and it's absolutely unforgettable. Sagittarius, the wild explorer. Friendship with a Sagittarius is like signing up for a lifetime of spontaneous adventures, unexpected twists, and stories that sound too wild to be true but somehow always are. They are the restless spirits of the Zodiac, born with itchy feet and hearts that crave movement, change, and discovery. Being their friend is like strapping yourself into a roller coaster without fully knowing where the track goes, but trusting that the ride will be unforgettable. Sagittarius thrives on exploration, and when you're in their circle, they want you to come along for the ride. Sagittarius friends are adventurous in every sense of the word. They're the ones calling you at odd hours saying, "Pack a bag, we're driving until we find the best sunset spot." They're the ones suggesting a trip to a new city on a whim, convincing you to try exotic food you can't even pronounce, or dragging you into an outdoor adventure when all you wanted was a quiet weekend. Their energy is contagious. Even if you're hesitant, they'll push you gently but firmly out of your comfort zone, and before you know it, you'll be laughing under the stars in a place you never imagined you'd be. But Sagittarius friendship isn't just about physical exploration. It's about expanding your mind, too. They're seekers of truth, lovers of big ideas, and they'll challenge you to see life differently. Conversations with them can start with jokes and laughter but will often end with deep philosophical debates about purpose, love, freedom, and the meaning of happiness. They'll question everything, not to confuse you, but to remind you that life is bigger, richer, and more complex than the routines we fall into. Being friends with a Sagittarius is like opening a door to infinite possibilities. You'll leave every hangout feeling like the world is a little larger than it was before. Sagittarius is spontaneous, sometimes to the point of being unpredictable. They don't plan everything, they thrive on impulse. This means they might disappear on a solo quest, chasing a new opportunity, exploring a new interest, or simply needing space to roam freely. To some, that feels like flakiness, but to those who know them, it's just part of their spirit. And the best part? They always come back. When they return, they'll bring stories, laughter, and wisdom gathered from their adventures, and they'll share it with you in a way that makes you feel like you were right there beside them. Sagittarius friends are also incredibly generous with their optimism. They believe in possibilities, in second chances, in the beauty of chasing dreams. If you're feeling stuck or discouraged, they'll remind you that the world is wide open and that no failure defines you forever. They'll lift your spirits with humor, big ideas, and an unshakable belief that better things are just around the corner. Their positivity is infectious, and being around them makes life feel lighter, more exciting, more alive. But there's another side to their wildness. Their need for freedom can sometimes make them hard to pin down. They value independence fiercely, and they don't like feeling tied down by obligations or expectations. As their friend, you'll need to give them space, to trust that even when they wander, they haven't forgotten you. In fact, their loyalty runs deeper than it seems. They may disappear physically, but emotionally, they hold on to the people they love with a fierce devotion. In the end, Sagittarius is the friend who turns your life into a collection of stories worth telling. They'll push you to take risks, to laugh louder, to live bolder. They'll be the first to convince you to say yes when you'd normally say no, and years later, those yeses will be the memories you cherish most. Friendship with them is not calm, not predictable, not always easy, but it is always worth it. Because with a Sagittarius by your side, life will never, ever be boring. Capricorn, the reliable mentor. Friendship with a Capricorn feels like having a rock-solid foundation in a world that often feels unsteady. They are the dependable ones, the anchors, the people who show up exactly when you need them most. Capricorns value quality over quantity when it comes to their friendships. They may not surround themselves with dozens of people, but the few they do keep close are chosen carefully, deliberately, and with a depth of commitment that is rare. When a Capricorn calls you their friend, it means something. It's not casual, it's a bond they intend to honor. Capricorns are practical, grounded, and deeply reliable. They're the ones you can call at 3 a.m. when your car breaks down, and they'll actually show up with jumper cables and a plan. They're the ones who don't just listen to your problems but offer solutions, thoughtful, realistic, and often wise beyond their years. Their advice may sometimes sound blunt, but it's always rooted in truth, in experience, and in their desire to see you succeed. In many ways, Capricorn friendships feel like mentorships. They guide, they teach, they push you to grow. And while they may sometimes feel more like your life coach than your party buddy, you'll come to realize how invaluable that kind of steady support really is. What makes Capricorn friendships special is their consistency. They don't play games, they don't vanish when life gets tough, and they don't invest in people lightly. If they've chosen you, it's because they see value in you, not in what you can do for them, but in who you are at your core. And once they've made that choice, they'll stand by it, often for life. You'll rarely have to question where you stand with a Capricorn, because they make it clear through their actions, their loyalty, and their unwavering presence. Capricorns may seem serious at first glance, but spend enough time with them and you'll uncover a dry, witty sense of humor that makes their friendships deeply enjoyable. They're not the loudest in the room, but their jokes are sharp, their observations spot on, and their laughter genuine. And when they relax, when they let down their guard, they're capable of surprising warmth and playfulness. It just takes time for them to reveal that side, because they don't give themselves away to just anyone. They also value tradition and stability. They're the friends who remember birthdays, who keep promises, who follow through. They'll be the ones reminding you of your goals when you've strayed, cheering you on when you've accomplished something, and grounding you when you've lost your way. And while they may sometimes come across as overly serious, their seriousness is simply their way of showing they care. To Capricorn, friendship is not a pastime, it's a responsibility, an honor, and a lifelong investment. Of course, their perfectionist streak can sometimes make them demanding. They hold themselves to incredibly high standards, and they often hold their friends to those standards too. If you're not pulling your weight, if you're being careless with your life, they'll call you out on it. Not to shame you, but to push you to be better, to remind you of your potential. It can be tough to hear, but it comes from a place of love. Capricorn doesn't waste time on people they don't believe in. If they're pushing you, it's because they know you're capable of more. At their core, Capricorns are builders, of careers, of futures, of legacies. And in friendships, they build trust, stability, and loyalty. They may not be the flashiest, most spontaneous friends, but they are the ones who will stand beside you in the moments that truly matter. They'll celebrate your victories with genuine pride, guide you through your failures with steady hands, and remind you of your worth when you've forgotten it yourself. Friendship with a Capricorn isn't about constant excitement, it's about knowing you have someone in your life who won't let you fall. They'll mentor you, challenge you, ground you, and love you in a way that's steady, dependable, and deeply enduring. And in a world full of fleeting connections, that kind of friendship is priceless. Aquarius, the quirky visionary. Friendship with an Aquarius feels like stepping into a world where rules don't matter, ideas have no limits, and individuality isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. They are the rebels, the thinkers, the dreamers who challenge the way the world works and invite you to do the same. Aquarius friends are the ones texting you at 2 a.m. with a wild thought about saving the planet, starting a movement, or building something that's never existed before. Their minds are constantly buzzing, overflowing with visions of how things could be better, freer, more exciting. And when you're their friend, you become part of that vision. Aquarius thrives on deep connections, but not the kind that fit into traditional molds. They don't want shallow, small-talk friendships, they crave authenticity, honesty, and a meeting of minds. They want to know your quirks, your passions, your strangest ideas, because that's where they believe the real you lives. With an Aquarius friend, you never have to hide who you are. They'll celebrate your weirdness, laugh at your offbeat humor, and encourage you to lean into the parts of yourself that the rest of the world might not understand. To them, individuality is sacred, and the more unapologetically you live it, the closer they'll feel to you. Being friends with Aquarius also means being constantly inspired. Their minds are restless and curious, and they'll sweep you up in their whirlwind of creativity. One day they're talking about launching a podcast, the next they're sketching out an idea for a charity project, and the next they're researching how to build something from scratch. They may not finish every project they start, but the sheer energy and originality they bring makes you feel like life is full of possibilities. Around them, you start to see the world differently. You start to dream bigger, think freer, and believe in change. Aquarius is fiercely independent, and that independence shows up in their friendships. They're not the type to cling, and they don't expect constant check-ins or daily updates. They value freedom, for themselves and for you. If you disappear for a while, they won't hold it against you. If they go quiet for a stretch, it doesn't mean they don't care. They believe that true friendships don't need constant maintenance to survive. In their eyes, if the bond is real, it will always be there, no matter the time or distance. At the same time, their independence can make them seem detached. Aquarius isn't always the most emotionally expressive friend. They may struggle to show vulnerability, and they often process feelings through logic rather than tears. But don't mistake that for coldness. Beneath their calm, cerebral exterior lies a heart that beats fiercely for the people they love. They'll defend you if you're misunderstood, they'll support you if you feel out of place, and they'll encourage you to break free from anything that stifles your spirit. Their love is unconventional, but it is powerful, steady, and liberating. What makes Aquarius friendships unforgettable is the sense of freedom they bring. With them, you feel like you can breathe deeper, laugh louder, and think without limits. They challenge you to question what you've been told, to carve your own path, and to embrace the parts of yourself that make you different. They're not interested in blending in, and they don't want you to, either. Being close to them is like being reminded that the world is bigger, stranger, and more beautiful than you realized. When you look back on your friendship with an Aquarius, you won't just remember the late-night conversations or the crazy projects. You'll remember the way they made you feel free. Free to be yourself, free to dream, free to rebel against expectations. And in a world that often pushes conformity, that kind of friendship is nothing short of revolutionary. Pisces, the dreamy soulmate friend. Friendship with a Pisces feels like stepping into a soft, glowing world where empathy reigns, compassion flows easily, and everything is touched with a little bit of magic. Pisces friends are the dreamers, the artists, the empaths who feel your pain almost as deeply as you do. They'll cry with you, sometimes without even knowing exactly why, because your emotions ripple into them like waves on an open sea. Their hearts are open, their souls sensitive, and their love unconditional. To be friends with a Pisces is to know what it feels like to have a safe haven, a place where you can bring all your wounds, your fears, your hopes, and your wildest dreams without fear of judgment. Pisces lives in a world of feeling, and they invite their friends into that world with gentle kindness. They are the ones who check in when something feels off, even if you've said nothing. They'll send you a song that matches your mood, cook you a meal when you're hurting, or sit quietly by your side when you don't have the words. They don't always need explanations, your energy speaks to them, and they respond with care that feels instinctual. Their empathy is profound, and sometimes overwhelming, because they take on the emotions of the people they love as if they were their own. At the same time, Pisces brings a sense of wonder into friendships. They are dreamers at heart, always spinning stories, painting pictures with words, or envisioning futures full of beauty and meaning. When you're with them, ordinary moments take on a new light. A walk in the park becomes a meditation on life's mysteries. A rainy afternoon turns into an excuse to create art, write poetry, or simply watch the raindrops fall like silver threads. They see the world through a lens of magic, and being around them makes you feel like you can see it too. Pisces friends are endlessly compassionate. They forgive easily, sometimes too easily, because they believe in giving people chances. They want to heal, not hurt, to understand, not judge. That softness can make them vulnerable to being taken advantage of, but it also makes them some of the most comforting and accepting friends you'll ever have. With Pisces, you never feel like you have to put on a mask. You can show them your worst day, your ugliest cry, your biggest fears, and they'll still look at you with love. Their friendships are often soul deep, feeling less like casual bonds and more like connections written in the stars. They're the ones who make you believe in the idea of soulmate friendships, those rare bonds where you feel seen, understood, and cherished on a level beyond words. Pisces doesn't just connect to your mind or your personality, they connect to your spirit. And that's why their friendships often feel like home. Of course, their dreamy nature can make them a little hard to pin down. They can drift off into their own world, lost in imagination, forgetting practical details like meeting times or deadlines. But their forgetfulness is never from lack of care. If anything, it's because they're so deeply immersed in feeling, in creating, in sensing the world around them. And when you remind them, they're quick to laugh at themselves, quick to hug you, quick to reassure you that you matter. What makes Pisces friendships truly magical is the healing they bring. They remind you that kindness still exists, that softness is a strength, and that love doesn't always need conditions or boundaries. They help you believe in beauty when life feels ugly, and they hold your hand when the weight of the world feels too heavy. They are protectors of hearts, dreamers of dreams, and friends who stay with you long after the moment has passed, because their love leaves an imprint on your soul. Being friends with a Pisces is like having an angel in human form. They'll laugh with you, cry with you, dream with you, and carry your burdens when you can't. They'll make you feel safe, cherished, and loved in ways you didn't even know you needed. And long after you've left their company, you'll find yourself smiling at the memory of their warmth, their gentleness, their magic. Because Pisces isn't just a friend, they're a soulmate in disguise, a reminder that true friendship is one of the purest kinds of love there is. So, which zodiac sign do you think makes the best friend? Or maybe a better question, which sign is hardest to keep up with? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Every sign brings something unique, something irreplaceable, to the table of friendship. Maybe you think the best friend is the Aries who charges into your life with boundless energy and never lets you forget how exciting the world can be. Or maybe, for you, it's the Taurus who offers a steady presence, who grounds you when everything else feels like it's spinning out of control. It could be the Gemini who fills every moment with laughter and endless conversation, or the Cancer who treats you like family and makes sure you never feel alone. For some, the ultimate friend might be the Leo who hypes you up until you feel like the star of the show, or the Virgo who notices the things you don't say and helps you fix problems you didn't know had solutions. But maybe the answer isn't about who's the best friend, it might be about who's the hardest to keep up with. Is it Sagittarius, with their insatiable thirst for adventure, who can vanish in a heartbeat only to return with wild stories that make you dizzy just hearing them? Or is it Aquarius, the visionary who lives so far in the future with their ideas and projects that sometimes you feel like you're chasing a comet instead of a person? Maybe it's Pisces, who swims so deep into emotion and imagination that you sometimes lose track of where the dream ends and reality begins. Or perhaps Scorpio, whose intensity demands loyalty, honesty, and a level of devotion that not everyone can rise to. The truth is, the hardest friend to keep up with often ends up being the one who teaches you the most about yourself. And that's the beauty of astrology. It reminds us that friendships, like the stars themselves, come in countless shapes, forms, and constellations. Each sign shines in its own way. Some are blazing suns, some are steady lanterns, some are mysterious moons lighting the night. None are better, none are worse. They're simply different, and when you weave them together in your life, you create a sky full of friendships that guide you, challenge you, inspire you, and comfort you. So maybe the better question isn't who's the best or who's the hardest. Maybe the real question is this: who do you need by your side right now? Do you need laughter, or loyalty, or wisdom, or a wild push into the unknown? The Zodiac shows us that there's a friend for every season, every chapter, every part of the journey. And if you're lucky, you'll have a little bit of each in your orbit, teaching you, growing with you, and showing you new sides of yourself. If you enjoyed this cosmic breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more astrology deep dives, and check out the links in the description for more fun videos. Who knows, you might just learn more about your friends than they know about themselves. That's the magic of diving into the stars together. You don't just learn about the signs, you learn about the people in your life, the people you love, and maybe even the people who drive you a little crazy. And if you had fun on this journey through the Zodiac, don't keep it to yourself. Drop a like, it tells me you're vibing with this cosmic ride. Subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. We've got so many constellations to explore, and every video is like another stargazing session with your closest crew. And don't forget to check out the links in the description. There are more videos waiting for you, each one opening a new door into astrology, personality, and the connections that shape us. Share this with a friend, especially that one friend whose zodiac sign you think totally fits or hilariously doesn't. Who knows, you might spark a conversation that brings you closer than ever, or uncover a side of them you've never seen. Because that's the fun of astrology. It's playful, it's revealing, and sometimes it's shockingly accurate. So go ahead, keep exploring, keep laughing, keep questioning. And remember, the stars might guide us, but it's the friendships we build under them that really make life shine. Until next time, stay curious, stay cosmic, and keep looking up. You never know what stories the universe is about to tell you.